Welcome to British Focus, the channel where we bring you the latest updates on politics, global affairs, and everything that impacts the United Kingdom. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of our latest content. Today, we're diving into Donald Trump's latest warning regarding trade tariffs. And this time, the UK and the European Union are in the firing line. Former US President Donald Trump has once again threatened to expand the scope of his trade tariffs, making it clear that the European Union and potentially the United Kingdom could face significant economic measures. This move comes as part of Trump's long-standing belief that the US has been taken advantage of in international trade. While he has consistently argued that tariffs are necessary to protect American industries, he did acknowledge that Americans themselves may feel some of the economic impact of a potential global trade war. The latest developments follow Trump's decision to impose tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China last Saturday, a move that has sparked immediate retaliation from all three countries. Mexico and Canada have already announced counter-tariffs of their own, aiming to protect their economies from what they see as unfair US trade policies. Meanwhile, China and Canada are preparing legal challenges to contest the new tariffs, setting the stage for a tense and escalating trade dispute. Trump's aggressive trade policies are nothing new, but this latest announcement signals a clear escalation. The inclusion of the UK and the EU in his rhetoric raises concerns about the future of US-European trade relations, especially at a time when economic stability is crucial. Could this be the beginning of another major trade conflict? How will Britain and the European Union respond? Stay with us as we break down Trump's statements and what they could mean for the UK. If you want to stay informed on these critical issues, make sure to subscribe to British Focus and turn on notifications. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Should the UK push back against Trump's threats, or is this a negotiation tactic we should take seriously? Let's get into it.
Do you consider taxing the UK, for example?
Well, we're going to see what happens. It'll happen, but we'll see how things work out. It might happen with them, but it will definitely happen with the European Union. I can tell you that, because they've really taken advantage of us. And you know, we have over a $300 billion deficit. They don't take our cars, they don't take our farm products, they take almost nothing. And we take everything from them, millions of cars, tremendous amounts of food and farm products. So the UK is way out of line, and we'll see the UK, but European Union is really out of line. UK is out of line, but I'm sure that one, I think that one can be worked out. But the European Union it's an atrocity, what they've done.
Prime Minister Starmer wants a closer relationship with the EU.
Well, Prime Minister Starmer has been very nice. We've had a couple of meetings. We've had numerous phone calls. We're getting along very well. And we'll see whether or not we can balance out our budget. With the European Union, it's $350 billion deficit. So obviously something's going to take place there.
Donald Trump's comments on trade tariffs have once again sparked controversy, raising serious concerns about the future of US relations with both the United Kingdom and the European Union. His words were blunt, as they often are, but what do they actually mean for the UK? And more importantly, should we take them as a direct threat, or just another one of Trump's negotiation tactics? Let's start with his statement on tariffs. When asked whether he would consider imposing taxes on products that consumers pay for, Trump's response was typically vague yet ominous. Well, we're going to see what happens. It could happen, but we're going to wait and see how things play out. It might happen with them, the UK, but it will definitely happen with the European Union. Now, let's be honest, when Trump says something is going to definitely happen, that usually means he's already made up his mind. He claims that the European Union has been taking advantage of the US for far too long, citing what he calls a massive trade imbalance. He points to the fact that the US imports millions of European cars, huge amounts of food, and other agricultural products, while Europe refuses to accept American cars and places strict regulations on US farm goods. According to him, this imbalance justifies severe economic retaliation. But let's take a step back here. Is the situation as black and white as Trump makes it sound? The idea that the European Union simply takes and doesn't give back is a gross oversimplification. Trade relationships are far more complex, and while the US does run a trade deficit with the EU, it's not a case of Europe simply exploiting America. European markets operate under strict regulatory standards, meaning that US products, particularly in the agricultural sector, often don't meet EU requirements. That's not an act of hostility, it's just a different approach to trade and consumer safety. And then there's the United Kingdom. Trump's tone regarding Britain was slightly different, still aggressive, but with an air of negotiability. He said, "The UK is out of line, but I think that one could be worked out." Now, this is interesting. What exactly does he mean by out of line? Is he referring to Britain's trade policies? Is it about post-Brexit relations? Or is this Trump's way of saying, get in line with US demands, or face the consequences? This is where things get tricky. The UK, since leaving the European Union, has been trying to secure a strong and independent trade deal with the United States. Under Boris Johnson, there were talks of a post-Brexit trade agreement that could have benefited both sides. But under the Biden administration, those discussions stalled, and now, with Trump possibly returning to power, the UK may once again find itself in a delicate balancing act between American and European economic interests. And that leads us to Keir Starmer. When asked about the UK's relationship with its Prime Minister, Trump gave what seemed like a diplomatic response. Prime Minister Starmer has been very nice. We've had a couple of meetings, numerous phone calls, and we're getting along very well. That's not the usual aggressive rhetoric Trump uses, which suggests he sees an opportunity with the UK. The key part of his statement, however, comes right after. We'll see whether or not we can balance out our budget with the European Union, because we have a $350 billion deficit with them. So obviously, something is going to take place there. That phrase, something is going to take place, should not be ignored. Trump has made it abundantly clear that, in his view, trade imbalances must be corrected by force if necessary. And if that means slapping tariffs on British or European products, he won't hesitate. So where does that leave us? Is the UK truly out of line, as Trump says, or is this just another instance of his hardline negotiating style? On one hand, Britain has an opportunity. If Starmer plays his cards right, he might be able to leverage Trump's hostility toward the EU and carve out a more favorable deal for the UK. On the other hand, aligning too closely with the US could create tensions with Europe, which remains the UK's largest trading partner. And let's not forget, the American economy is not immune to the consequences of a trade war. If Trump does impose these tariffs, American consumers will bear the cost just as much as Europeans or Brits. That's a reality that Trump rarely acknowledges, but one that economists repeatedly warn about. So, what do you think? Is this just another Trump bluff, or should Britain prepare for an escalation in trade tensions? Should Keir Starmer push for a closer economic alliance with the US, or should he distance the UK from Trump's volatile policies? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to British Focus for more updates on this and other major global issues. This is a developing story, and we'll be keeping a close eye on any new developments. Trump's statements have certainly stirred up debate, raising questions about the future of trade relations between the US, the UK, and the European Union. Are these just bold negotiation tactics, or is a real trade conflict on the horizon? How should the UK respond? Stand firm or seek compromise? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to British Focus for more updates on this developing story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.